Good morning, traders. Wow, talk about an overnight session here. Talk about the Bulls taking the reins here. If I bring this over real quick, this is my anybody who joins us for the live um, screens on Zoom all day long. This is what I show. So basically, we're currently trading right above the 200-day moving average on our TLT. We've dropped below 4% yield on our 10-year treasuries. I am so glad I took my other in into November and locked in yields over 5% on CDs. Warily. So we have managed to achieve that target area, 50% of that new channel here on the SMH this morning. We had bad news out of Adobe this morning, so be mindful. Or last night, dollar did poke below the swing low this morning, possibly breaking the support down into critical support, the 101 56 area potentially. That is one potential here. The dollar getting continually weak here today. Some other things I'm looking at here. VIX hit a 4-year low this morning. A 4-year low in the VIX. Now, with that being said, here some other things I'm looking at. Actually, it probably have been better if I'd done it with the other one. Sorry. Let's do it this way. I'll just expand these other charts. Maximize that real quick. Things I'm looking at this morning here. So we are. I got two different fibs on here, and so we're currently into a 50% retracement here on ESs. So what I'm looking at here, if you go on a daily time frame, I think that's one that will show it real good. And zoom in here real good, and you'll see what I'm looking at. You see this gap, how the gap was held by this 23.6. So I think this is the primary thesis on our fibs. That was that CPI gap that we had. I think that's CPI gap. We had a nice little gap there. No, no, that might be that's the row gap. That's our row gap. But the 23.6 held on that row gap. So I think that's our primary thesis. That now is projecting out to that being our primary thesis now, that is projecting out right up to 5,000, potentially up to 5,000 on ESs. So be mindful of that. If this is a valid way of drawing our fibs, it's holding that gap, that grow gap and everything. Definitely something to think about going into today's session. Other things, starting here, we're into 50% retracement using those, so we are into a resistance area. Not really where I like to look for a directional short. Typically, I try to do directional shorts at the 61.8. Okay, so I got two different fibs on here. Here's a different way of anchoring the fib. So that would put us at the 78.6 on this secondary fib if we went up here. So to me, shorting at 48.25 makes a lot more sense than trying to short down here. So we'll see what happens in this market. So bottom line, if we lose pre-market low, of course, that would be a possible short. But we really have to lose pre-market low to be shorting today. So definitely keep that on watch here in your trading session. In Qs now, real quick. Similar situation. Go out in the daily. I anchored these fibs, and you see how the way I anchored my fibs, this one here seems to be more. See how it's the row right there. So if that is the valid thesis going forward here, we could be projecting out on the Nasdaq 18,000. So if that gap and that fib are suggesting, they're implying now a possible upside move to 18,000 here on NQ. So be mindful of that. Yeah, sometimes you got to look at the bigger picture. So bottom line is we're into the 61.8 and the 50%. So 61.8 is what I would be looking for for a possible short. So the Nasdaq, in my opinion, that's giving me my best chance uh, for a short, in my opinion. But this is the fibs prime. This is our primary theory on our fibs. So um, so I'm that's still a very lower odds scenario, in my opinion. With this being our primary thesis, I would much rather try to short up into the 17,100, 17,200 area, in my opinion. So, and we are trying to push out above all-time highs as well on these NQs. So that's one thing to think about. We are into a major, what has acted as major resistance in the past. You know, uh, there are some signs that, this could be uh, weakening. So let's keep that on watch here. Things I'm looking at this morning: Adobe overnight, ADBE. It's definitely one I want to keep on. This is one of your AI plays, okay? And it got spanked on earnings overnight. So, and that's a pretty significant. I mean, when you're coming down from a close of 625 down to 588, that's a $35 drop on a product like this. And that is the one of the main driving forces the whole AI trade. So that's putting us down to 588. That's putting us right down here to the bottom, very bottom of this channel. Giving us the possibility this could be breaking down in the session. Now, guys, I do have a Discord. Anybody wants in, it's all free. I'll have a link at the bottom of my YouTube. I post charts, okay? And see, I was watching Amazon. We have the retail numbers coming out. Amazon has an inverted head and shoulders, okay? And if you go on the daily time frame, let me zoom this, okay? So let me go on the weekly so you can see it better. So this is what we're doing on here. We got this inverted head and shoulders, potentially breaking out, going into the retail numbers. If this is a cup and handle, the cup, it's projecting out possibly into next week, 160, 160, 165. The bigger theme, though, for this uh, inverted head and shoulders potential, that's another theory that you could have here, would put us up in the 200, 210 area. So be mindful of that. Those two scenarios here on Amazon going forward here. Okay. Other ones I'm looking at this morning, Tesla looks like it's ready to break out. We had a really nice reversal candle on. So now it's rejecting again pre-market here. So keep an eye on that one there. So that we're having all kinds of troubles breaking out of this trend line, and so we have completely wedged out, and we still can't manage to break out. So we're definitely, but this is a strong reversal candle. Uh, that's on a weekly time frame. You go daily time frame. See, this is a strong reversal candle on the daily. See how we wicked down, came right back up, right into range, and we actually saved the wedge low. So technically that should be a buy the dip. So this one I really got watching on. If you put your fibs on here, it is projecting out up to the 270 area. I don't have it drawn out. So 270 would be my upside target for the bullish side. And if you're getting below 4% on these yields and maintain it, that's something to think about. That's really good for big ticket sales if they can start getting interest rates below the 4% mark and hold it. Other things I was looking at this morning, things that Google could be taking a hit in relation to the Adobe numbers. So be mindful of that. I mean, they had already came out and said they juiced the numbers for their big AI example that they had a few days ago. Um, so this one here, we're at range highs, could very well be coming back down into the lower ends of the range. So this one here would be my on watch for downside. Follow Adobe. Microsoft, also AI trade, into resistance area. Okay. Really had weakness even into all that news that came out yesterday. So I'm definitely keeping this one on watch because of all the weakness, relative weakness. So there's a big seller. We were coming out of those numbers and they were still not able, there weren't no big buyers coming into it. So definitely keeping that one on watch. We're over 9 minutes here, so I don't want to get in too many of them. Let's see here. Oh, Apple. I'll do Apple real quick. Apple's trying to break out. Uh, we're at market maker move high for the week here. The expected, the measured move puts us right up in here to the 199.45 to the 200 range. So this is where the pattern should conclude. So I'm definitely keeping this on watch. We might actually finish the week into the $200 print. We got 2 days here to do it. So so the bulls out there, this is one I'd really be watching. We're at where the market makers said they thought we'd be done this week. So just be mindful of that. So and we are into resistance here on the Nasdaq and the S&Ps. And Nasdaq, in my opinion, showing a little bit more relative weakness technically than what I see on the S&P. Okay, that's all I got to say. Thanks a lot, and I will see you trading. Please like the video below and retweet me on Twitter. Thanks a lot.